Hello, my beautiful caregivers. Welcome to this episode of Smiling Tears. Thank you all for your support, for joining us, and just being with me, a part of this journey as I help you as caregivers navigate through this beautiful journey of caregiving. So today I want to talk to you about navigating sex and caregiving. This is a big and just interesting topic because a lot of people are just concerned about a caregiver and their sex life and how they are able to manage them both. So I want to talk to you a little bit about my personal experience as being a caregiver and just navigating me and my husband's sex life, not giving too much detail, but just giving you a little bit of experience where I'm able to help you out as caregivers in a way that has helped me during this journey. It is still something that we are both trying to get used to and trying to, adapt to, because it's so different now versus before my husband was in a work accident. But it can be done, and you can still enjoy your sex life with your spouse even if you are a caregiver. I believe it's all about your mental. Sometimes I know for me, especially in the beginning, it can be hard to transfer from being a caregiver into being a romantic spouse or a romantic wife. I know that has been kind of a struggle for me, is trying to turn off that caregiver switch and revert to being a romantic partner, but it can be done. So let's get into it. Let's talk about navigating caregiving and sex. Let's get into it. So one question that came across to me was, how have JL and I how have our relationship altered since I became a caregiver? And I believe one of the ways our relationship has altered is just roles reversal, or me having to just take more on the responsibilities as far as running a household and being a parent to our teenager. It has definitely altered, because before my husband's injury, we both was working third shift, and we would get off of work every morning. He would pick our daughter up from my grandmother's house, or no, I would pick her up from my grandmother's house, and then at night before we went to work, he would drop her off. And so we both just did teamwork, far as making sure our daughter got to where she needed to go. So that has altered a lot. Just cooking. Sometimes my husband would help me cook, or just, I don't know, he would help me cook. It was just a lot of things that he was able to help me to do, versus now that he's injured, it's limited things he can help me do. Even though he still helped me with certain things that he can do, like he still can make phone calls and get bills paid, things like that. So he's still helping me out with that, but it's just the physical part of getting Jelliana to where she needs to go and things like that. That's the only thing that, not the only thing that has changed, but that's one of the things that has altered in our relationship. But we decided to stick it out. We decided to stay together because a lot of people get burnt out. A lot of caregivers get burnt out. A lot of care receivers sometimes get frustrated and maybe they start resenting each other. And I'm not going to say that me and my husband has not experienced that, because we definitely have experienced resentment. But we have decided to stay together. We have decided to fight through whatever it is that we need to fight through to make it work. It's not always perfect, but we chose to stick it out, make it work, and just turn what may look like a negative situation into a positive situation. So I can say that during this time, even though we have a lot of challenges, I have learned just to look at it in a positive way as much as I possibly can. This has helped me, like being on this caregiver journey, it has helped me so much on my spiritual journey as well. And that's the best thing that could have happened to me during being on this journey as a caregiver, is leveling up in my spirituality. Not just going to church, not saying that going to church is a bad thing or not going to church is a bad thing, but me outside of church, doing the work outside of that on my own, in my own personal life, like spending time with God on my own, getting into the word on my own, not just reading, but studying what I am reading in the Bible, and just getting in tune with myself. Like, so we are off all week next week for my job, and I am taking that time one day out of that week off. I'm taking that day and I'm getting me a room so I can go rejuvenate and refresh and get my mental, back in order, my mental back balance, my just my thought life back balance, just whatever it is I need to work on for me, for Tierra, so I can come home and I can feel refreshed and ready to take care of my husband and take care of my daughter. Because a lot of times we get burnt out just from the responsibility that we have as a caregiver. So I'm making sure I'm taking that time for myself to get in touch with me again. And if you are struggling with that as a caregiver, I suggest you do the same. It may not be you just getting a room so you can have that time on your own, but whatever it is that you like to do, so you can be a healthy person for your loved one, do it. Whatever it is that you enjoy, if that's just reading a book or affirming yourself, whatever it is that brings you peace, you have to find that. And so I'm excited to be able to take this time for myself so I can just refresh and relax and get some well-needed rest. I'm excited to do that and just take that time off for myself. So, and you're someone that you need that, make sure that you get it. So how do I maintain sexuality while being a caregiver? Like I said before, this has been one of our challenges, being in this caregiver world. And I can say too, for us, like me and my husband, we have been together since high school. So we've been together for a very long time. So this is definitely something we had to adjust to and adapt to versus someone who may be just newly getting into a relationship, because we've been together for so long. And me and my husband, we love each other, we're in love with each other, but we don't get those goosebumps and all that anymore just because we've been together for such a long time. But what I have learned is to make sure I do put in some time, make time for that, because that boosts up you as a caregiver and your spouse, if you're taking care of them. That boosts both of you guys self-esteem up. So you have to make sure that you make time for that. Some advice that I got, and I'm really big on taking in advice from people that I trust and that I know is not going to judge, not going to criticize, or go sharing our business. And some advice that I got from a close friend is to make sure that I start relaxing, because I know us as women, we are very mental. We go based off a lot by our mental. And so one pieces of advice that I did get was from one of my close friends, is that it's for me to relax, on a day that I'm off. Normally I'm off on Saturdays, the weekend or whatever, but a day that I'm off of work, or I just get off of work, and I don't have to work the next day, get in a tub, relax, have some wine, just so I can relax my body, relax my mental, and then I'm able to feel more sexual and more free and more light for my husband. So if this is something that you may be struggling with because you have so much going on, you have so much on your plate, you're working, you're coming home, you're taking care of a loved one, and it don't have to be a spouse that you're taking care of. You could be taking care of a parent or a child or whatever the case may be. You have to make time to put in that physical connection with your spouse. So go home, get in a tub, do whatever it is that relaxes you. I'm just going based off of what relaxes me, and that is taking me a nice hot bath, drinking me some wine, some nice wine, and so I could be mentally prepared and ready to be romantically involved with my husband. So whatever it is that you need to do to relax, if you are struggling with this, another piece of advice I got was from my business coach was to at least, if you cannot do it 3, 4, or 2 times out the week, make it at least one time out the week. And that was just the best advice I could have gotten, because we just be so burnt out by the time it's at the end of the day. You just ready to go to bed. You just ready to go to sleep. You don't want to be touched. You just want to go to sleep and get your rest. I understand it. Believe me, I get it. But if you have a spouse, we owe that to our spouse. We owe that to them, to be romantic with them at least one time out of the week. So yeah, that is our life. That is a little bit of transparency on my part and what I've experienced as a caregiver. And it's a learning journey. It's a journey full of things that we have to learn, and it's a process, but we can do it. If you are married, or just dating, seriously dating, whatever the case may be, you can do it. You can make time for your partner in a physical way, and it don't always have to be about sex either. It do not have to always be about sex, but just giving them that physical touch. So if you're taking care of them and you're giving them a bath, take that extra time and just rub their back in a gentle way. Just do some kind of touch. Me and my husband, we give each other kisses every day. There's not a day that go by that we do not give each other a kiss, or just, just touch each other in some kind of way. Just make sure you are having some kind of affection towards each other every day. It may not be all day, but just some kind of touch, some kind of affectionate feel for one another at least one time out of your day, if you are married or if you're seriously dating or whatever. So yeah, make sure that you just get that time in to just be involved in your spouse, with your spouse, either in a physical way or a affectionate way, whether you're just giving them a soft touch, a back rub or whatever, a kiss, a more passionate kiss than what you normally do. Whatever it is that you need to do, just make sure you do that sometimes out of your day, giving them some kind of affection, some kind of touch. Like I said, it don't have to always be sexual, but you do owe your spouse that at least one time a week, giving them that. So that way, that could help you as a caregiver, and it can help your loved one as well. Okay, so that wraps up our episode for today on navigating sex and caregiving. And my encouragement for you as caregivers is just to take time, talk to each other, touch each other. And I'm talking about caregivers and the person that you're caring for, if you're caring for a spouse, or if you're not caring for a spouse, if you're taking care of a parent or a child. Still, as caregivers, just do that with your partner, with your significant other. Talk to them. Talk about what your needs are, what needs need to be met, what's some of your needs that need to be met. touch each other throughout your day, and just make time for one another to show some kind of affection, whether it's just a touch or a kiss or sex. So just make time for each other, talk with each other, and touch one another. I love y'all. And if y'all are not following us on Instagram, make sure you follow us on Instagram on Smiling Tears support group. And we also have our website, smilingtearsfortwayne.com. And if you want to email us, please email us your any kind of questions, comments, or maybe a topic that you want to talk about. Email us at smilingtearsfortwayne@gmail.com. I love y'all, and y'all make sure y'all have a fantastic Saturday. Love y'all.